Well, hello, welcome back. I'm Claire, this is Purple Poppy, and today we are continuing with our Grungy Lapbook. I've got a lot of stuff on my desk, so let's move that over a bit for a minute. Okay, so when I left you last, we had, make sure everything's in view because it's so long, right, we had joined our envelope flap. I have to move it down so that I can lift it up. And we decorated that so it was facing us, and we decorated our page there. We had left the side open, which I've now put a thumb hole in, and I've made the journal cards, which I've done a double row of stitching on. So the journal cards are now in there, and I did this one as well. This one I did slightly differently because we don't want it all exactly the same, do we? I used a collection of stamps for the background. I used a jelly plate print to make a pocket, and then I've just put this decorative card or paper in that pocket. Again, I did a thumb tuck there, and I've done another journaling card with 2 rows of stitching again, and that flips in there like so, and obviously that one flips up like the other one. Okay, and then while you were gone, I added more of this gesso and stenciled book page onto the wide spine that we'd added on the other 2 spines. I've then covered the centre with some sprayed stamped inked paper, and underneath it I've put a coffee dyed piece to act as a flip. I've left it wide because at this time I'm not 100% sure what I'm going to put on there. And I did the other side in exactly the same way, same paper, and then the coffee dyed flip the same, wide, because obviously I'm not 100% sure what I'm going to do with it. So today I want to work on the toppers that are going to sit on here. So for that I have got, conveniently, thank you Mr. Amazon, I've got this box. So I'm going to take my craft knife, try not to chop my fingers off, because let's face it, it's been a week, hasn't it, of problems. Perfect, there we go. Now I think that that is going to be enough to do both. Let's have a double check. So it's really hard to get this thing in camera. You know what I could do? I could bring you up slightly. No, that's the wrong way. Sorry, giving you a headache. Is that better? That's probably better. See a bit of the floor on the end there, but anyway, that is perfect size to go on there. Now, this measures 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 and a half. The book, so we want it to be about 7, and this measures 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 12 and a half, which is going to give me 6 1/4. Is that going to be enough? Let's have a look. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 1/4. I think that'll be enough. So I'm going to pop my metal ruler down between the lines. I'm going to use my craft knife, and I'm just going to run down there, and that will give me 2 halves. Let's just double check before we work on them. I think that is going to fit on there lovely. The only thing is now I feel it's slightly too wide. So it measures 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm going to go for 4.5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 4.5. I'm just going to cut about 3/4 of an inch off. Now there's no point really me giving you measurements because your books will be most likely different sizes to mine. Okay, so that is a perfect size. I'm happy with that. So now, rather than risk bad measurement, I'm just going to lay this one on top of this one and line my ruler up, and I'm going to trim off. Like so. And then we're going to do the same on this one. Line that up. And trim through. Okay, so we now know our bulbs are exactly the same size. So let's get rid of this knife before I chop my fingers off, because you know what I'm like. I'm going to get the book out of the way because you now know the size proportion that I've got. And we are going to get super messy. Because what I want to do is I want to do some three-dimensional work on this. Okay, so I'm going to put gesso on it first of all, like so. Always does that to me, splodges out everywhere. I'm going to find my, oh no, where's my big fat paintbrush? There it is. And I'm going to cover this in white. Okay, so cover them both in white. I'm using the gesso so that I can obviously get layers on here that shouldn't warp the cardboard. Okay, so that's that one. Look at the state of my desk. Oh dear. I did warn you we were getting messy today, did I not? Okay. That's that one. I really should have a wet wipe to clean that, but I don't think I've got one. So, I'm going to pause you and go and get one. Okay, here's our trusty wet wipe. And as you can hear, hubby is still coughing. There you go. That's got the excess off. This bulb needs a really good clean anyway. Right. So there are our two pieces that are now white. Now in this pot, I am going to put, this is clear PVA. So we're going to have a nice splodge of that. I don't know how much, just a good splodge. That is probably about 2 tablespoons if you need a measurement. Okay, I'm then going to squeeze in some of this really cheap white paint because we want to keep the white going, and then I'm going to put in about 1/3 of the mixture in water. Okay, so that's basically 2 tablespoons of glue. It's a water-based glue, otherwise you can't put water in it. 2 tablespoons of glue, a tablespoon of white paint, and then that gives us 3 tablespoons. So then I've put a tablespoon of water in, and we've got this lovely single cream type mixture. Okay, are you ready? So one at a time, I think, and I'm about to get extremely messy. I've got some string. This is really cheap stuff. It comes from the pound shop. I think you get 2 rolls in a packet for £1. So I don't know how much I need. What I want to do is I want to make some swirly. So I'm going to put my string in this mixture. I told you it was going to get messy. Okay. And then I'm going to pull it out like this and find the end. Okay, I need the end. There's the end. Okay, and I'm going to start to lay this down and create a pattern. I'm doing a bit of a swirl. Can you see that? Yes. Bit of a swirl. And then I'm going to come down and across and do a big, obviously I'm dripping, so if you don't want to get your desk in a terrible state like mine is, you might want to consider laying down some kind of protection. Okay, and then I'm going to cut that off, or not. Yes, cut that off, and I'm going to put that right round into create the rest of that spiral. Okay, and then I'm going to go again, and I'm just going to keep feeding this around to make 3D patterns using this string soaked in paint and glue. Concentration, look. And then when this is dry, I'll add some colour to it to grunge it up a little bit. That's that side. Turn it round. Look at the state of me. Love it. Mess doesn't bother me. Really doesn't. It's what soap and water's for. Okay, let's put this back in. Might hold on to my end this time so it's not so difficult to find. Okay, we're going to go again, and we're going to start at the top. Now obviously you could do any design that you wanted to. If you wasn't sure about being as random as I am, if that bothers you. I know some people, you know, they need a set measurement or idea of what they're doing, then you could have drawn this and you could lay your string on your lines. Then lift it up a little bit. Trim it off and pop it in there. And that one is done. So I'm going to set that up there. I'm going to bring this one in. Let's get our wet wipes first and clear up some of that. Give our hands a little bit of a clean. And then this one, in fact, let me show you what I mean about, you could draw maybe a leaf design, just because I can't draw. I mean, obviously if you're an artiste and you can draw, then go for it, but I can't. So I've just done a very basic line, and I'm just going to make sure that I cover it, because obviously I don't want to see it. Yeah, but I'm not going to cut it off. I'm just going to line this up, and I'm not worried about these drips making sort of bubbles. That's fine. Okay, and if I hold that, I can come back up that line, can push that down on there, like that. Okay, then we need another paste. We don't need much this time, so put that in our mixture. And we'll line that up there. It's going to go to there, and then that's going to come back down to there. So I just lift it up a little bit. Obviously if you've got good sharp scissors, that would have made that job a little bit easier. Okay, so we've now got our two designs done. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to bring this back in, because I don't want to waste this mixture, obviously, and I'm just going to fill some of the holes. Not all of them, just some. All to add more texture. Sorry, I just bashed you, didn't I? Okay. And at the moment, it looks like that. I'll bring this one in. I'm just going to do a big blodge over where everything joins. Like that. Okay, now I need to fish this piece of string out. And get that out of the way because we don't want that. I'm going to get another wet wipe and just wipe my fingers off. And then what I'm going to do now is I'm going to add some modelling paste to this. So like so. Okay, it's just going to give it even more stability. Okay, so I'm just dabbing randomly. I want splodges, deliberate splodges is what I want. Okay, bring this one back. I'm going to do the same. And now obviously we need to make this, I'm just gripping now, look. We just need to let this set. So once that's set, I will come back and show you where we go from there. Okay, well, here we are. It's not completely dry, obviously that will take some time, but it's dry. And I've now got the middle layer of a napkin, and I'm going to literally fold it in half. I'm going to pop it on top, and I'm going to press it in to my design. Okay, I'm going to take my paintbrush, and I'm just going to dab it down into the glue that's already on there and the string, and we're going to stick this white napkin over the top, and we're adding even more texture. If you need a little bit more glue, then go for it. And I'm doing this stabbing motion because obviously I don't want to drag out my design. And then I'm going to set this to one side for a good 24 hours to dry completely. You see I'm getting stab marks in it as well now. And then when it's completely dry, I'll start to add some colour. And as has become like the normal pattern, I will decorate one in your absence so that you've got a demo, and then I'll leave the other one to do with you next week. And then we're almost there, aren't we? Because this was about making up the lapbook. You all know how to add pages and signatures. If you find it's lifting like that, just grab and do the first coat, and then it, you know, the first layer, and then this second layer will stick to that first one. That stabbing motion obviously gives you that extra. Not going to be able to get that layer up now, am I? It's funny because it didn't happen with the other one, but they are two completely different napkins, so you know, different manufacturer, it may have a slightly different compound to the way it's made. And you can see, look, there's the leaf pattern coming through. Move it up to make sure you can see, not hanging off the edge of the camera. Having now got it the right way round, let's not start hanging off the edge, eh? It's a whole new problem. There you go. So a little bit of paint, a little bit of glue, some napkin backs or centres, and some string, bit of residue box, and hey presto, we've got some beautiful textured toppers for our flips. Sorry, got slightly distracted. So there you go then. If you draw it, you can get a set shape if that's what you want to do, or if you want to free flow it, you can just get some randomness going on. But I've got both my toppers, they'll go off and dry, and then I'll start adding some colour to one of them, and when I come back next week we'll do the other one together. Thank you for joining me. It's been great having you here with me. Stay safe. I'll see you very soon. Bye bye for now.